Welcome back to Satisfactory update 8. In the last episode we started using our mega bus. We created a mega bus bringing all types of resources to one place, one mega factory. Don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you want to see those episodes where I show you, how I created the train network, how we are doing this, etc. And in this last episode we made our first mini factory over here to start making radio control units. Today we're gonna want to do the second one, which is the cooling system, but for this we're gonna need a nitrogen, a completely new resource. And to be honest, we're also going to need something else, which is we're gonna need more bauxite than before, because we're gonna need to transport this nitrogen into tanks, and those tanks are actually also made out of aluminium. I said in the past that there was two main things to do with your aluminium, the alclad and aluminium casing. Well, to be honest, no, there is a third big one, which is those tanks. So let's go first to this new bauxite mine. You may remember this was my first bauxite mine, right? There is 3 deposits at the bottom. It goes here and it goes into this train station. Now we're going to have a second one a bit further. It is actually over here. So here we have arrived to a new roundabout. Again, don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you don't know how to make those perfectly round roundabouts with the right signals, etc. But yeah, basically over here we're gonna have a new train station. It's not a huge one, as you can see, right? It only has 2 miners, Mark II, overclocked, right? Sends up. And so with this, we're making actually 450, if I remember correctly. So this first one is a normal node, so we're talking about 300, fully overclocked. And this second one is actually impure, so we're talking about 150 overclock. So that's 450 in total. We have those 2 elevators going there and going up. We can see here the train station. Right now they both go into 1. In the future, when we go to Mark III miners, we can then use the second one. But yeah, that's a classic one, right? It goes back onto it. So it will go all the way over here, and we're gonna have therefore a third mini factory over here to make empty tank. But while we're here, actually, maybe let's continue so I can show you, what we're gonna do with those empty tanks in terms of the nitrogen, and then we can go back to the mega factory to see those empty tanks and also the cooling system factory. So it is, we have a new small ones, which is where we have the nitrogen deposit. There's a couple of nitrogen deposits across the map, not just one. But as you'll see with this one over here, you can already do a lot of nitrogen, and I'm only using part of it. As I said, this is a sort of new types of deposits. As you can see, they look quite different. You will have some of these for water, for oil, and for nitrogen. So what you need to do first is put a resource well pressurizer in the middle. This you can also overclock, of course. And then you're going to put those small resource well extractors in each of those small deposits, right? And then this is where the resources are actually being produced. As you can see, this is where the gas is coming out. So I have over here some gas, nitrogen gas coming out on the pipe. This one we're talking, 300 for each. So that's 600 and then 600 again. So that's why I have 2 pipes. Here it's 600, here it's 600. Then it will go over here into those packager, because we're gonna need to take this nitrogen gas and then put some empty fluid tanks, right, that we're gonna deliver over here, and then that's going to give us packaged nitrogen gas. So it's a bit like a fluid, right, like water when you package it, but instead of using those canisters over here, you're going to use empty tanks. So that's what's happening over here. You can see it over there too, right? We're talking about 240 here. So that's why I have actually 3. One is underclock at 50%, right? So that's exactly 600, and then similarly 600 on the other side. And you saw one was just made over here, right? So with this, we're going to make the packaged nitrogen gas. So in terms of how it's working, there is actually 2 sets of elevators. Those ones are going down, these ones are going up. This is actually the empty tanks that are being delivered. They go down, they go over here, and then they're going to go here down, right? with the gas, and then on the other side we're making, you know, these filled tanks, and then these filled tanks will go there. So these ones are the ones that are going to go up. Let me show you quickly upstairs how that looks. So this is a fairly small, you know, mini factory, but yeah, we have over here, you know, it is unloading, and this is the one for the canisters or the tanks. And then here, this is actually loading. You can see some, a lot of tanks actually. So that's great. Right now, I'm only using one. In the future, we have also space for 3. You know, I just want it to be safe. So hopefully this is delivering some tanks. Yeah, you can see empty tanks coming over here, right? They're going to be delivered, and then they will go down. We can see them in a second. Remember that when a train arrives at the station, then the station stops. So that's why you want to definitely have a storage container here with 2 input output, but then here you can only have 1 because it's fine. That is sort of the actual output rate. So yeah, it's happening, they're delivering. Let's give it a second. It's a cool animation, by the way, if you never saw it, with your trains. Love it. Especially at night, also the trains are really cool, I feel. And soon, yeah, this is starting now. So here it is. It's gonna start going down for this one. Right, here it is. I'm going to go faster. Who's fastest? I think I'm fastest. But yeah, it's going down, and oh, I was very fast actually. Yeah, it's coming now. Here it is. So it's going down to all of them, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, no, sorry. There is a smart splitter that says first you do those first 2, then you go to the other one. So this way I don't waste electricity. But yeah, with this, we're starting to make more and more gas that can be used in the future. And as you saw, I only use 4 of these deposits. There is a few more over here, right? So whenever I need more gas, I can start, you know, pressurizing these ones, and we can continue to have the same thing. I can basically expand here, expand there, and have the same buildings in a way. So it is a small, not super pretty. Don't hesitate to tell me if you have any questions, but that is how we're packaging and getting nitrogen. We have also seen the bauxite, and you've seen me start to use these empty tanks, but now let me show you how we are actually making those empty tanks. We're gonna go back, as I said, to the mega factory where we have delivered our bauxite from this new site. So I'll see you in a second. So it is in, and I haven't closed that one up yet, similar to the casing and alaclad, but at least it is working. Okay, so for this one, let's start actually at the bottom. We have a new belt and you know, elevator from the top that's bringing all of the bauxite we just looked at, and you know, similar to the other one, it's just going to continue this side, and it's going to be sent to the top, right, into 4 different refineries. There's also a water, right? It's exactly the same, to be honest, at the bottom. To be very precise though, this is, you know, 120, so times 4, that's 480. We're only making 450 right now, so it's not gonna be working exactly 100% this one, but as you can see, that's gonna be still pretty fine. So the bauxite is starting to arrive. That's going to make some aluminum solution and some silica. You may remember, you know, again, this is very similar. We're gonna send the silica up, and the aluminum solution is coming over here to be then transformed into scrap and water. Right, so the water will be sent back into here, and I put a valve. Yeah, great. So that's going to you know, help with the water need there, and the scrap is being sent upstairs. Now we have this floor here where we separate the scrap. I mean, we have 2 for the scrap. We're gonna separate it. This floor is also where we're bringing the coal and sending it down. Remember, this is what you need over here with the aluminum solution, and then this is also where we're doing everything with the silica. So we have some silica that's coming this way. Then we're also making silica, and this is actually a lot of silica, so that's why you have 2 different belts. Don't hesitate to tell me in the comments below, or to check in the video description below for the previous episode where I really went to detail in this. But basically, up until this point, this is the same as the other 2 factories there, right? We're gonna have 8 of these smelters to take the scrap and silica to make ingots. Then all of those ingots get merged over here, they go up into this, and that's where it gets very different. Now this is a completely new floor. that's starting to work, as you see, taking those ingots to make fluid tank. This is 60 to 60, so remember we are theoretically making 480 of aluminum ingots, so we could be making 480 of those empty fluid tank if all 6, when and if they get perfectly working. Then of course, as always, we're gonna have over here our smart splitter to say first go into the storage, but if you're full you can go into the overflow. So we have storage there, as you can see. And then last but not least, also sending these up so they can go into a train station, right? So I know this is really ugly, but this is the functional way to do it, where it comes over here, goes all the way over there, and the train station is that one here. So let me show you now those 2 train stations here that we have built. So hopefully you recognize this. If not, don't hesitate to check in the video description below for the previous videos covering this. This is bauxite number 2, by the way. You can see it's leaving now. And we have those 2 new stations there. So one is going to be, to take these empty canisters, right? This is this one here. So that's going to be sending those canisters all the way to over there. And then there's another train that's actually coming with all of these full tank, right, of gas. So it's bringing them here, and then these ones are delivered, and they're going to be delivered, you see it over here, they're delivered there, so they can join everything else that we had already started to deliver into my mega bus, right? It's gonna go over here. Let's actually find it, show you I'm not lying. Which one is it? Here it is. So it's going down, right? We can go down with it, and it's gonna go onto the bus with everything else. You can see it, it's here. And so with this, we're gonna move now to a second mini factory, right? Last episode we did this mini factory here. Now we're gonna do this one. It's actually a pretty small one, as you can see, half the size, but a very important one because this is for cooling system. So we have finished this one. So let me show you what we're trying to do. We're trying to make cooling systems, which is going to be in the blender with some heat sinks. That's something new that we have to make. Some rubber that we have, nitrogen gas that we just talked about, and also, by the way, a bit of water. So it's not that complex, to be honest, which is why you saw it was a bit smaller. And basically what I've decided is to try to make 10 of those cooling systems per minute. So it is basically 1.66 blenders for the cooling system, and also we need to make those heat sinks, which are going to be taking the alclad and some copper sheet. So that's what we're gonna do right now. So let's go. We're gonna have the copper. First, this copper is going over here into 6 constructors to make copper sheet. Those copper sheet get merged, right? They go all the way over here. And then this is going to go into 3 of those assemblers, where we're gonna take copper sheet and alclad aluminum sheet to do the heat sink. One of them, by the way, is underclock, right? But that's what's happening over here. So we have the alclad here at level 3, and we have the copper sheet at level 0, and then we make those heat sinks. I could have also made a small reserve of heat sinks, but don't really need them right now, so that's fine. Then what we're gonna want to do is we're gonna need to unpackage this nitrogen gas. So this is why we have a packager, right? This building over here, but instead of doing the packaged nitrogen gas, we're gonna do the unpacked nitrogen gas. So this is only one input, and we're gonna have 2 outputs. We're gonna have the gas and empty fluid tank. So if you want to be super efficient, you could send those empty tanks back over here or over there, right, to be reused. Now I'm making it a lot simpler. I'm just sending them to the awesome sink next to it, so they disappear. And then we have the gas here, right, going into this pipe, then going into those 2 blenders. So in those 2 blenders, we're gonna take the heat sinks we've been making, right, over here. We're gonna take the rubber, that's all coming from here. We're gonna take this gas too, right, and a bit of water in blue. So the water in blue is coming just from there, right? We have one of these, that's enough because that's making 120. I don't even need 100. Let me delete that, that's useless. But yeah, we have a pump to send it up, of course, but that's basically it. And yeah, that's the input for those 2. And then on the other side, we're gonna have the output, which is to start making those cooling systems. As I said, we're making 10 per minute, so starting to make some reserve, but more importantly, similar to what we did with the radio control units over here, we're going to start sending them back into the bus. So here it is, you can see, all right, we have those cooling system, we also have those radio control units over here. So now when I want to make something that takes both of these, I don't have to redo all of this, I can just take them. So that's the idea, right? Cooling system, pretty easy one, as you saw, once you have the resources. The hardest part is definitely to get the nitrogen, especially because it's not like you can find it in many places, so you're gonna have to package it and send it over here and then unpackage it. Don't hesitate to tell me if you have any questions, thoughts or requests. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this progress. Obviously, I know this is a short episode, while it takes a lot longer for me to make this happen in the background. It takes way too long actually to be in sort of a YouTube video. But by the way, if you want me to start doing more live stream of Satisfactory, so you see me building those things live, don't hesitate to tell me in the comments below. Otherwise, in the next episode, we still have a lot of work. We want to do fuse modular frame, supercomputer, and much more. So if we look in particular at the blender over here, you can see the fuse modular frame, right? It's nitrogen gain, but also heavy modular frame. So we're gonna make all of this on site. Supercomputer, it's even more complex. So we're gonna have fun with this. This is going to enable us to do also a couple of the new research, like for example, Mark III miners soon. So that will be pretty good. We still also haven't done nuclear energy, so that's pretty cool. And last but not least, the phase 4, we need 4,000 of those two, 1,000 of those two. So that's definitely gonna be still a challenge. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.